Okay, welcome to the March meeting for the library board. We're going to start by taking agenda. I don't believe we have anyone on the phone today. Is that correct?
No one.
No, Hannah James is here.
Oh,
Hannah
you are.
James.
Okay, hello, welcome. Okay, so Hannah's here, and then we'll start around and take attendance.
John Rodenbaker.
Wanda Mingle Cook.
Kristen Schipper.
Amy Oren.
Jenna Reno.
Paul Jensen.
Perfect. Okay, our first item is we need approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll move approval of the order of the agenda.
I'll second that.
Second. Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, moving on to our second one is the approval of the minutes from the January 21st meeting, Is there a motion for approval?
I'll move to approve.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Oh, okay, and then moving on to public comment. No public comment. There was a lot of public earlier. I thought we were going to have a fun day. Then we'll move on to number 4, staff report with Megan.
Hello. As always, you have my full report in your packet. Some things I want to highlight is this Thursday, we're having a readers theater for kids since the public schools are out on spring break. So one of our staff members, Sarah Nelson, who's active in Fargo's community theater community, is running this program. It's geared towards kids in 2nd through 5th grade. And they'll come to the library, get their parts, practice a little bit, have a snack break, and then do a performance for anyone who wants to come, parents, grandparents, friends. The kids will get started at 10 that morning with the performance at 11:30. For teens, we're getting ready for the somewhat inevitable spring by decorating canvas tote bags. They will be using dyes made from flowers to decorate the bag with floral or other springy type designs. That event is next Saturday, the 28th, at the Northport location. And then I want to mention 2 things for adults. I have a typo in the explanation. For one of the events I'm going to highlight is next Tuesday evening at the Carlson branch, we're having an event about herbal teas. We have tea tasting events that happen every month that are always a hit, so I expect people will like this one. So it's people can come in and sample and test different herbs, not hers, and then learn about what they can easily grow at home to create their own tea blends.
Oh, that's fun.
And then relatedly, our seed library, we expect to be able to open on April 2nd. So seeds will be available at the Maine and Carlson locations, and people are encouraged to try out growing different things. They can get 5 different packets of seeds anytime they come to the library. And then, I have another event highlights in the packet, and as always, all of our events are on the library's website. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Oh, just one question. Who is conducting the herbal tea garden presentation?
I can't remember. It is a master gardener in the community.
Okay.
Cool. Nice. Any other questions? All right, thank you very much. Moving on to our director's report.
Yeah, per your packet, you can see it there. One correction, the PTA meeting discussion regarding the legislation, Senate Bill 2307, that meeting was canceled. Wasn't able to attend that. One of the things that I thought was really good, showing the support of the community in terms of the library, the Friends of the Library hosted the read-in event on the 8th, and it was packed up and down the hallway, and it was great. So thank to Marissa and the Friends for hosting that. It was a very good event. If anybody else has any questions.
Okay, any other questions? No? All right, no unfinished business. We'll move on to new business, and we'll look at letter A, zero tolerance policy review.
Yes, this is kind of cycling through after 3 years needing to be reviewed by the board. It's a very handy policy given the challenges that we have in an urban library. It's come in very helpful. Obviously, no changes are proposed as this, it's more of a review for your knowledge base and to see that we're keeping up on our policies here.
Okay. Are there any questions at all on the policy?
Yeah, well, how would you recognize these people?
In regards, what do you mean specifically?
Yeah, well, if they have committed some of these offenses I've been told.
In terms of substance abuse or intoxication?
Yeah,
Oh, well, oftentimes in my experience, usually their whole demeanor, their speech, their obviously, if they, depending on what they consumed, you can usually smell it
yeah.
in a
but
certain degrees. Obviously, not in all cases. Generally, a significantly erratic behavior accompanies that on a regular basis, in my experience. So it's what we've experienced, and just by seeing it on a
Yeah,
regular basis.
okay, but then they have received an indefinite trespass, for example, so. they
Actually,
come-
it's a
how do you
year.
recognize-
It depends on what, if it's a simple intoxication kind of situation, that would be just 12 months. If there's violence involved, then we're looking at, maybe indefinite, depend on the situation. Again, it's a tool for us to help maintain the environment as best we can
Sure.
with all the challenges that we're experiencing. So, I wish we had a more proactive approach in terms of this, but whereas right now we're limited in terms of the resources that we have, I think this policy helps us in that regard.
So you
'cause-
count on your employees recognizing them, even if they come back without being intoxicated.
Right.
Yeah.
And we have, obviously, we set up a database with, and Cindy does a tremendous job maintaining that. We have, obviously, photos of the individuals, links to photos, the individual incidents, or in some cases, multiple instances with certain individuals.
Okay.
And staff are able to access that and kind of identify, and they do a tremendous job despite, the myriad of folks that we have, to follow up on that.
Thanks for the explanation.
Yep.
Any other questions? Okay, do I have a motion for approval?
I move to approve.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, moving on to letter B, legislative update 2307.
Yes, I thought it would be really important for the board to go on record in opposition to this legislation. I know several board members have submitted testimony themselves. I've submitted testimony in representing city and myself. What you see in your packet is what I submitted per city and myself, which I showed this to city administration and they were good with it. I think it's important that the board go on the record in opposition to Senate Bill 2307.
It's actually being discussed today, I believe.
It was earlier
Afternoon.
today, when the hearing went on like between 9 and noon. I had a few other things going on, listened to some of it. As of right now, I don't think the House Judiciary Committee voted today on
They
it.
did
No
just
action was
before this
taken.
meeting, it was 12 in favor, 1 opposing,
12 in favor, 1 opposed.
with the recommendation to the full.
Oh, okay.
To the recommendation that it moves on to the full house?
Do pass?
Do pass
Yeah,
was the committee's vote, yes.
okay. Interesting.
So what do we do with this then?
No, I'd still
Still
go on
go.
the record, absolutely.
Okay,
I would urge you to do that.
okay. Does anyone have any other questions in regards to this?
Yeah, but it hasn't gone to the floor yet for voting,
No.
right?
It has not
It
gone to the
came out
floor.
of committee.
Came out of
Yeah,
committee with the do
that's what
pass.
The do pass.
Yeah, and then it has to go to the Senate afterwards. To the
It has
Senate
passed the
committee.
Senate, it will now go
Oh,
to
so
the
it goes to the
House.
House
And then it
committee.
hasn't gone to the main floor or the governor.
Yeah, so there's still a way to go.
Yes.
Yep.
There's still opportunity to take action.
Yes,
Given it's our
thank you.
representatives.
Okay. All right, any other questions, thoughts on this one? Okay, do I have a motion for approval for the support?
I motion to approve.
Second?
This is Jenna, I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and then moving on to C, just a contract security update for the library. We've switched people over, or companies over.
Yeah, we have a new firm, Signal of North Dakota. They've been on board since January 1. I think in comparison, I think the management is more engaged in looking to solve issues. I think the guards as a whole, again, it usually comes down to the individual guard a lot of times because that's the nature of it. I would say overall, right now, it's kind of early yet, but the quality is better. The manager reached out and he wants to meet with me every couple weeks, which is good to have that communication. I would say that, and obviously in the conversation with Paul, and Paul's questions were really good, is, the issues are still there. It's societal, it's where the community is, where those challenges are, and whatever they are, they find their way in. And what I've learned is there's individuals, regardless of who's around them or, mom's coming in the door with the kids, they'll go ahead if they feel like they want to challenge somebody or, get wound up about something, they're going to do that. So I would say all the challenges remain. We have a little better resources in regards to that. But like I said, I wish we had a more proactive approach to this, because ultimately, as the environment goes, that becomes a kind of a existential challenge to us in providing library services. And I've said this before, the expectation of what an environment in a library is held very high. We're held to a very high standard. And it's a real challenge to maintain that at the resource levels that we have currently. And at the approach that we're taking by necessity of the amount of resources that we have. So, long story short, I think the company's better. Some of the people are easy to work with. The challenges remain. So.
Any questions at all in regards to the update?
Was the budget from company to company about the same?
No, Signal was significantly more expensive,
Oh, okay.
so we're dealing with it.
Is there any technological solution to this, like facial recognition and similar?
I wouldn't think, that, I think the guards now have cameras, body cameras, which I think is helpful in terms of identifying if there's a situation that they're involved in. We have a very close relationship with Fargo PD in terms of, I can communicate them on a daily basis and say, an X incident, this individual, can we get a mug shot and do you know them? Yeah, we know these individuals and this kind of thing. So when I say proactive, I'm thinking more of, a greater presence in kind of mitigating these things as best you can before they escalate.
Yeah.
So,
Is there one person on or two people?
one.
One.
I think in our conversation, Amy, it might have been Dave when they were first getting started and some of their
Oh. Like manager.
superior folks were kind of walked them through or what have you, so.
Sure. Okay. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Comments? Okay, we are going to be moving on then to our statistical report. We'll start with our February usage.
Yep, you can see there, again, in comparison to 24, obviously, there was going to be a kind of a year-long impact of not being open on Sundays, that you're going to see that difference in terms of the numbers, which is pretty to be expected. So you see that in terms of attendance, programs, volunteer hours, Volunteer hours remain strong. Other impacts, you see that there. Circulation, pretty much the same thing in terms of change in service hours impacting there. I think, though, in discussions with staff, it has meant a lot for folks to have that break, and so we thank the board for that.
Okay, any questions in regards to the usage? Okay, moving on to February financials.
Yeah, looking through just 17%, the budget, we're just under 16% expended early on, so pretty straightforward there. In terms of donations, I don't have my explanation sheet, so I'll have to explain it next month. You know, I can probably, in all safety, say thank you to the Friends for what you see on the expenditure side for programming, so thank you, Marissa. And then you see a little bit of revenue through the end of February.
Any questions on the financials? Okay, moving on to 9, Friends of the Library report.
Hey everyone, I think I met most of you in January. Amy, I don't believe we've met before, but my name is Marissa Nygaard, and I am the president of the Friends of the Fargo Public Library as of January. So I have 3 things for you today, and Tim had already mentioned it, but just wanted to reiterate. So as part of our mission and advocacy, we were able to host the read-in on Saturday, March 8th, and just like Tim said, very well attended. We had between 80 to 90 people. Very happy with that turnout, and thank you to Tim for speaking and being a part of that. And then about a month ago or so, we did write, as the Friends Board, a letter of opposition to 2307. So again, just in alignment with our advocacy part of our mission. And then funding, this past month, we approved some funding for Mixed Nuts, as well as the Summer Reading Challenge, Color Our World. So proud to support those programming efforts to the library. And then the last thing, which I mentioned at our last meeting too, but wanted to reiterate and hope to see you all there at our book sale, April 10th through 12th.
Wonderful. Okay, do we have any questions at all for the Friends of the Library?
Thank you, Fred.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hannah James does.
On the book sale.
Oh, wait, did you say you have a question?
I do. Just a quick one. Are you still looking for board members?
We are, yes.
Okay, I might have some people I'm going to be sending your way. I just wanted to check to see if you were still looking.
Yes, perfect. I would really appreciate that. And it's Hannah, right?
Yes.
All right, I'll look forward to that email from you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, then our next meeting is April 15th, and then we're adjourned.